Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
Today I'm joined by Black Gzas, artist, poet, community worker, youth mentor, I would say. Deep Talk is a show all about wisdom. We are all walking bits of wisdom. And remember, you can join the conversation on Icon Radio KE. That's YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we're live streaming www.iconradio.co.ke. Black Gzas, welcome. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I want to start with two kind of questions I always ask the guests. Before we say anything about really who you are and your life, what you do, I wanted to ask you a question. The question is this. If you take away your name, your personality, your job or career, professional focus, your relationships, and your status, who are you?
Humble African. Just a humble African. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. And three qualities that you really, really value, that are really important to you.
Qualities of what? Basic?
Qualities like truth, love, peace, joy, freedom. What are the qualities that are so important to you?
The qualities, one is realness. Realness in a way that we live in a society where of plastic smiles, plastic faces. I admire people who are real, who are themselves, Another quality is, being able to expression, freedom, like somebody who is free to express themselves, somebody who is caring and also loving to other people. Another thing is qualities of
So we've got realness.
Yeah.
And then we've got expression, freedom of expression.
Yeah, and then loving.
Okay, love.
Yeah, that is love.
That's three.
And then
What you got more?
harmony.
Yeah,
harmonious vibration.
Harmonious vibration.
Yeah, that's what I love more about. Those are the qualities that I admire, I think. Calmness also is another quality that I admire. Yeah.
Okay. And tell us about your name. And I know you go by several different names depending on who you're with. But in particular, the name you have as an artist, or who you are as an artist, is Black Gzas. I know we've talked about it before, that it was somewhat controversial back in the day.
It is still.
It still is.
It is still because, I think the name is religious to some, if you may say. To some is inspirational. Like to me, it's an inspirational name that actually I was given by people who we were doing music with at that time. And it came from Mombasa mainly, because in Mombasa when I started my musical journey, I went to stay in Mombasa. I went to live in Mombasa because I was kind of rebelling from home, and I left home. Yeah, and it was a time whereby I was going through a lot with my growing up and my growth, and my parent who I was living with. And I decided I'm tired of being here. So I decided, one of my friend who passed away is called, he was from Mashifta, this group called Mashifta in, he's called Jiwiji, who passed away. He was also traveling to Mombasa because we used to go to his parents' place. His parents' home was like a home to everybody, like I used to envy them because it used to be a place where everybody was welcome. They didn't have much, but you would just go and hang there, everybody will come there. That's where now also Mamo camp was formed back. It was in Dandora. And so it came that chance that, hey, Jiwiji was going to Mombasa, and he was going also to visit Ukoflani, who are our affiliates from Mombasa, we were brothers. We used to, and that's how I decided, even me, I'm going. Actually, it's a long story. I don't know if it's relevant by now, but yeah, it's a long story. So when I went to Mombasa, and when I started going to jam sessions, I used to like to put a towel on me because Mombasa is hot, so you put a towel because it soaks the sweat that you. Then I used to there is a hat. One of our members' mother gave me a hat, which now when I used to wear it, I used to look like Gzas because I wasn't shaving my beard. Yeah, so that's how Black Jesus came in. And
so other people started calling you Black Jesus?
Yeah, or? And also because of the conscious music lyrics that I used to write, and all those that vibration came in, and the way I was, they say I used to be very cool guy, I used to be very calm. Yeah, and I think I was different from other people. It also inspired me, Yeah.
And I know you had some controversy with it. Some people don't understand why you call yourself Black Jesus. And how do you feel about that?
I understand them. I don't feel anything because I know we all have freedom of what we like to believe, and you can't judge anybody in terms of. Yeah, those are people who are very deep into religion and they don't understand the third dimension or the third perspective of things, because everything, even a coin has three sides, but you can only see one if you think. You don't want to think beyond. You don't want to put in some work in your mind, so you'll just see the top, which is one side, Yeah, so I never take anybody badly, and if somebody would like to learn more about why, then so I'm not offended about people being like that, Yeah.
Well, they say the last guest was Kirisua, and he said word is bond, So the naming, your name, especially so as an artist, there's this naming, because most artists don't use their personal name.
Yeah.
So their name is either given to them by their peers. That's what happened. Kitusua, do you know, was originally Kitushua.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Then people changed it to the opposite thing, in some ways, but he embraced it and he went into that, But at the end of the day, where he wanted to be was sure thing, and giving his personality is not always a sure thing. It's like the opposite of a sure thing. Like a golden spark, you can never tell when it's coming, and when it's going.
Yeah.
But so Black Jesus is like a powerful name. So having you seated here, and even this word is like feels like it's creating like energy that's radiating, because that's the power of words. So so whatever happened, you were given a very powerful name.
I believe so, and that's why I also love it. But sometimes also you feel, it overtakes you, because when you think of Jesus, how he was a man like us. He walked on this earth like us, and it was just a different time. But the challenges he faced, sometimes it's too much, and that's what you said. Like, I usually see myself sometimes having circumstances that, like, hey, it's like you are Jesus, everybody wants you to save everybody. You can't save everybody, you know what I mean? Like, it happens even to me. Sometimes you are like, hey, no, man, am I really taking this name? Is it this name, like, being, like it has overtaken even my personality, because you feel like you don't want to do wrong, you don't want to tell people no, that you can't do this. It's really a struggle even within yourself, because Jesus, the way Jesus was, he helped people, but nobody helped Jesus when he was going to get crucified. And that's sometimes I go through things like that, but I appreciate, because sometimes it gives me strength, and it also awakens my consciousness, like, just that name itself is very powerful, and it has a resemblance of winning, like it's a very powerful name, that it has a very powerful power in itself. So sometimes it's a burden if it's heavy on itself, like not if you are in a circumstance that you can't get yourself out. So you just, personally, what I do, I just now, when things are beyond me, I just give it to God, and that's what I do. Like, that's how I live.
Yeah, that's a deep way to start Deep Talk. We'll be right back after this.
Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
And we're back with Deep Talk. Welcome back. Welcome back, Black Jesus.
Yeah, thank you.
So we just heard a little bit about your youth, but maybe you can tell me a little bit about where you grew up.
I grew up in Kenya. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have grown up in many places. I think I'm a nomad. I've been a nomad since, like, the Maasai's, because remembering from when I was early age, we used to live in Shaurimoyo. So I've grown up in Shaurimoyo, Majengo. Then we went to Dandora. That about when I was about 6, 7, 5 years, and then I moved. I went to live. I've lived in Rongai. I went to where I lived through my learning primary childhood, and we were in an orphanage. I was living in an orphanage called Matumaini Children's Home. It was an orphanage run by some Japanese guys who were helping the orphans, who supported the orphans, whereby we were like 40 kids in that orphanage. That I lived there until I finished my primary education. Then I went back to Dandora. I started living with my family. I reunited with my family again. After that, after
That's
Dandora,
not a normal. That's not a normal childhood, right? To be from an orphanage and then be reunited with your family.
yeah, it's I would say, when you're kids, I think when you're a kid, you don't really, you you know you don't if you've lived in different places like that, you just like actually don't know what's happening, so you can't say that it was bad or good, but then I came back to live with my family. Then we lived in Dandora. Then after that,
How was it to come back to your family?
coming back to my family was it was challenging, and it was feeling good because hey man, we had lived in this orphanage, and everybody, sometimes you just wish that you would get out of that place, because it was like there was life outside that place that you didn't know and you wanted to know, because you were just in one place. So coming back was also a good thing, because when we used to be there, everything used to do together, like with the kids. Let's say you are taken to museum, have to go all the 40 kids, but with the family it would be a bit adventurous, because I started exploring with my aunts, my uncles, taking me to different places, which wasn't it was a new experience, and it was very good for me, because I loved going to different places. And then it came a point also whereby my family stability wasn't there, like financially, I would say, and everybody kind of wanted to live with me, because I don't know, like everybody, with my aunt, my uncle, especially my two aunts who are now passed away, they really wanted to live with me. So it was like everybody was pulling me on their direction, and it was also challenging. But later I had to make decision, because I said I want to live with the aunt who I lived with now until I grew up. Yeah, so then from there I lived in Kitengela. Then I went to Tanzania, lived in Tanzania. I lived in Mombasa. So I've grown up in different places, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that idea of home for you, what does it mean to you? Like, how do you relate with this idea of home? Because
Me, I feel I used to live like I felt like I was like living like a bird, I would just live anywhere. I was ready, like I don't even have that. It took me a long time before I would feel like I'm in a home, because everywhere I lived, like it wasn't like promised, like it's not a place you say it's your home. You're not satisfied, because it's like you are living out of somebody's it's not like the way you grow up with a father and mother, and this is anywhere we'll go with them. Me, I used to be alone. I used to know, like anything happens to me, I just move on. I was ready, like to live anywhere or anyhow, because even when I went to Tanzania, I didn't know anybody. I just went. Even when I went to Mombasa, I didn't know anybody. I just went on my own. So I started living like that, and I used to be like, me, I would live anywhere. But the good thing, I've never lived on the streets. That's the amazing thing, which is street life. I know is much harder than what I've had, So I'm grateful for that, because I always had people who I would live with. Wherever I would go, I wouldn't miss a place to sleep or to. So I used to live like a bird,
Like Jesus?
maybe that's how these things also came up. Like I didn't say I would have this is my bed or this is my house. Nothing like. I stayed long time without that kind of setup. And at some point, I used to feel not good, because when you're maturing, you start feeling like, hey man, when will I settle even? Like, you don't have a place to say, this is my place, or to say, this is where I'm stationed, Anytime you can't be, you live like, what do you call it, displaced people? Internally displaced IDPs. Yeah, that has been my life. And I have no regrets, because it has taught me a lot. It taught me to be humble, because you never know who would help you next minute. You never know who would. And that's how life should be. I think it teaches you to appreciate even the smallest thing that you have, or the smallest thing that the people that surround you, whatever small they have. You can relate, and there's no place that I've gone that somebody will say, oh, Black Jesus did me wrong, and or I've never crossed line with anybody, I've never fight with anybody, so yeah, it's because I also like to, I believe I'm not a conflict guy. I am the last person who would say I'll fight somebody, because if we reach that point, I know it will be, I don't know what would have happened, maybe a push to the limit, but yeah, that kind of patience, this life has taught me that kind of thing, because you don't know what's your next step or where you'll be. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Remember, you can join the conversation. Icon Radio KE, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We're streaming on iconradio.co.ke. Thank you, Black Jesus. We'll be right back.
Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
Black Jesus, the nomad, the one who feels he should be saving others.
But today I'm wearing shoes. Yeah, don't wear shoes. You should walk barefoot.
So we just started to touch on really what the show is about, which is your wisdom, because your life experience teaches you certain things in a very deep way, like not just learning the lesson haraka haraka hina baraka, mentally, but you learn it like you embody that wisdom. So, from your experience, but actually before we get there, I actually want to talk about Ukuflani Mama and how that really affected your life, and that part of your life, and what you really learned from there.
How did it affect my life?
Well, your journey, your story, because you have a story from...
that's a long story. I don't know if we have enough time.
Not to learn the whole story, but that particular time, what was it like for you, and what did you really learn from there?
I learned a lot, because I would say, a lot of youths after finishing school, or even when they're in school, they never have peer that that mentor themselves in a positive way or toward a common goal, But I would say for hip hop or music that brought us Ukoflani Mau together really made us learn a lot from each other, because in every one of us everybody knows something that somebody else doesn't know, or somebody encounters something that somebody else hasn't. And so we used to live like a community, like brothers, like sisters. We didn't have a lot of sisters were not in music, but sisters were sisters of our friends who were in the core movement, and it really taught. First, we used to share a lot. We used to share, like those days. I remember I had some Timberland, and me, I was from not a very. My aunt was who raised me was a bit well off, because I think we are the only people that at that time who we used to have a colored television, those that kind of thing, and even have a telephone in the house, So she was well, a bit well off. Not, I would say I wouldn't sleep hungry, but sometimes I would, because I did of these domestic issues that make you rebel, and you say, I won't even eat, but that's not because you lacked. It's different. But yeah, amongst us there were people who didn't even have food to eat, for supper or for the next meal, and so we used to share a lot. We used to be like brothers, and at some point we used even to there was a place we used to go with 20 shilling. At that time 20 shilling was a bit. It will buy you 2 chapatis and choma chapati madondo, like, and we used to share something like that, or we would buy something and then we share, like 5 people. We go cook something and we share, all of us, So it was really, nobody had. It was really down to earth situation whereby you wouldn't even know when you would get. And it was good, but also it wasn't good, because also we didn't have that mentality of we want to get money, we want to work for money. We were just doing the music which we believed it would give us everything that we wanted. So we never even thought, me personally, I didn't even think of how I would start making money. I've never even thought of thinking of, had that anger of I want to make money, that. And it's a bit troublesome to me, because sometimes even living is a bit challenging, because I don't have that greed of, that thing, that hunger of trying to make that money, because it has never been in me, But I believe you can get. That's how we believed. We used to have that union, that we believed, everybody had that faith that everything can come, like everything comes, and some will call it how do you call it, like, yeah, you live like today is the last day, like there's no tomorrow. So, and the most thing we did, we used to listen to a lot of music together. We used to learn about history, how colonialism affected, and all these things. At that time, it was a regime whereby the Nyayo era, whereby corruption had come. There were killings in the ghetto, in police brutality. So we were just thinking about that kind of activism that we were doing with our music, So, and also we didn't have a lot of, nobody in Ukoflani was using drugs at that time, we were very sober, just normal people with a vision. And that's how the name even became big, because it wasn't about even money. We were just a family, But then later also these things changed, because at some point you grow up, everybody want to start getting money. Everybody, some people started tasting money from the show business, and it changed a lot, because now it brought a bit of division amongst the family that we were, and that's how also it came and affected the whole Koflani Mama movement, because I would say some deals came, which some got, some didn't get, but me personally, I never got offended with even anyone about it, but I just got sad because of that, what came in and broke the whole scenario of how the family that we were.
Yeah, it is sad, isn't it? You were a light for a lot of people and for yourselves and for each other.
Yeah. I remember we used to go to shows like we used to take a whole Nissan Matatu, and anybody in uko fulani, we know it was somebody, maybe let's say Kalamashaka had a show, or they would want to uko fulani mama. It wasn't a discriminatory. We would tell them, we need a van, so everybody can go. Later on things changed. People started separating themselves, and ego of, me, I'm the best, I'm better than him, I can rap better. Those kind of they came in, and that's where now humble started disappearing from the clique. But otherwise it has been a very good journey. That's why I went to Mombasa and lived there, because it was also home, and I never felt alone, because we were taking care of each other, Yeah, that's how it was. And people from Mombasa would come to Dandora and live.
Yeah. Everybody I've talked to has always said that from Ukuflani Mamau, that it was really family,
It was like the Wu-Tang, but in a Nairobi situation whereby, so that's what happened with Ukoflani. But I learned a lot, and I believe everybody from Ukoflani, whoever made it, whoever didn't make it, but everybody has this kind of story, because everybody can relate to it, Nothing like that has ever happened to anybody. And also most of the youths nowadays, they don't have that kind of cause. When you have one cause you put, there is an energy that comes, and it can be very powerful. So that's why it's even easier to shine like that.
Being together. Well, I want to talk more about that, but when we come back.
Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
And we're back. Welcome back to Deep Talk. I'm your host, Neha. We're with Black Jesus today in the studio. So Black Jesus, in the break, we were just, you were saying, I was saying, oh, it's so sad, because I know you guys, and I know how wonderful you all are, and especially, how wonderful you all are together. Really like brothers. Very, very funny, a lot of laughs, But I was saying it was so sad, what happened at that time, and you were saying, so I just wanted you to share a little bit more about that. That it's not sad. You were saying it's not sad.
Yeah, I think
it's life.
I think it's I've gone to 10-day silent meditation for a while, and Vipassana, all these meditation kind of things, though it teaches us not to get attached to things and any situation, because nothing is permanent and nothing lasts forever, That's the reality of life, which is, you might say it's sad, but it shouldn't be sad. It's just, so even this, what happened to me, I feel it was just meant, but it's just that maybe we were not wise enough to know that it will happen, and it would change this dimension or perspective of the way we were living, And so we were not prepared of it. It came abruptly, and because we were young, nobody had that knowledge that nothing lasts forever, nothing lasts, no situation is, or don't get attached. So we were all attached to that ukoflani thing. Even up to date, some people are still attached to it, But me personally, I never got attached, and that's a good thing, because I would say that's why I went places like me. I see, before even ukoflani, I've been in different places. So I think maybe it helped me a bit not to get sad things the way how things went, because to me nothing has been permanent. Nothing has been nothing has been like guaranteed to me on the next day or the next step will be, you know. So, but it's sad. Everybody would say everybody feel like that, and some even ask, "Oh, is Ukoflani uniting?" Oh, we never separated. It's just life, you know.
Yeah,
We are
okay,
still
that's
there.
a
Everybody's
beautiful way
still
to
there.
say it. You never
You
separated.
know, we
Yeah.
never, nothing. So it's nothing changed. It's just that people grow, mindset grow, people change places, and that's part of life. So even now we are here, next minute we won't be here. So that's, if you're attached to this place, you won't be freely willing to move from that chair, you know. So it teaches us sometimes not. It's good to have that mindset of, oh, yeah, I might not be here next minute. Maybe what preparation of the next move. Yeah, you know, and these things also comes like seasons, and there is seasons in everything. Like a farmer plants, knows that for these 3 months I'll plant a seed, and within the next 90 days I'll harvest. So after the 90 days, if it didn't rain or the Nini didn't come, you know, you've lost, you know. But you shouldn't be attached to that you are expecting, oh, everything will go well. No, nothing is promised. Yeah, and that's life for everything, and not for all of us, for everything. For the birds, even the animals, they never know, you know. You imagine an antelope in the wild, or a zebra. You know, those, man, they live but they don't know, they are not attached, because they don't even think of it. It just happened like a lion comes. Then that's the time now you need to save yourself, you know. It's a jungle. And that's how life is, you know. You might be a meal for somebody else next minute. So, yeah.
So how do you because you're actually answering the question that I was going to ask next, which is, you know, from all of this, what have you really learned? But so how do you manage in a place where anything can happen?
These guys, can we get more?
Yeah, we can get some more.
It's nice.
It's really nice.
It's
good
Butch.
for you too.
Yeah, I like it.
It's good for you too.
I like it. Hey guys, try this, guys.
Yeah, it's non-alcoholic.
I mean, they're not
but
endorsed.
it feels
I'm not
like
endorsed, but
yeah,
try this. It's nice.
It feels like alcohol. Like it feels strong, like a drink.
Yeah.
But it's not alcohol. But it's like good for your body. It's like when you drink it, what you're doing, you're healing your body, because it has all these bacteria that are good for your stomach, right?
And they have different flavors.
Yeah, they have lots of. They have like 5 flavors, I think,
Can I
or
taste
6.
this?
You can taste that one, yeah.
Elder flower. So
Yeah, but we're married, so we live together anyways. So there we go. COVID safety, you know, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they're nice by the way.
They're very nice, yeah. And so basically, 70 to 80% of your 70 to you're gonna get some next time for sure.
Yeah.
70 to 80% of your immune system is based on your gut,
Yeah, true.
and this is what builds your gut immunity, like your gut bacteria, your health.
Ah.
So it's like this drink. It's like basically when you're drinking it, it's building your immune system. So it's building your strength.
That's why they say
your vitality.
You have to trust your gut. And that's a very powerful thing to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this builds the immunity.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, kombucha.
Kombucha.
Trust your gut. Oh, yeah, it's say I had not read here.
It says trust your gut.
Wow.
Yeah. It says trust your gut on the bottom.
No, I didn't know it's
Yeah.
written. Okay, sorry for.
That's okay. You know, I was saying to you earlier in the break, like why I just think this is a great drink, you know, to promote also is because I feel like I meet a lot of artists and people, young people or people who are trying to, you know, make their way in the world, and and they're drinking a lot of alcohol, and it's like it's not good.
Alcohol is killing,
it's not like having a drink once in a while, like partying,
it's killing
releasing.
Our spirits, let me tell you.
Yeah,
our spirits is going through alcohol. You young people out there, me, I'm a victim, and I know how alcohol, what it does. So it kills. You never know, you cannot know, but it's killing the conscious, the spirit that is. That's why I think they are called spirits. I didn't know until I've been drinking a bit, but not a lot. I'm not a drunkard, but I drink. But I feel like God kills the spirit, and that spirit is this. Because I see people, but the way people drink, especially these cheap alcohols, there's something they take away from somebody. So unconsciously, you can't know easily, but me, I felt it, and nowadays I don't drink them. Yeah, I try to avoid as much, but it's not easy also to, these things, they're addictive. I don't know what they put in that causes it to be addictive. Yeah, I'm not.
Well, you just have business, to. You just have to have the willpower. That's important for you. Like, you can't just say, "Oh, it's not easy." It's like it's your choice. You make that choice every time. Each time you make it, you're making a choice.
You know what is a spirit? A spirit is that what causes willpower.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah.
And that spirit, when it killed, the willpower is not there. I'm telling you. That's what alcohol does.
Yeah. So it's like a cycle.
Yeah. So before, there is everybody has a spirit that gives them the force, that willpower that you're talking about. And it's also in the subconscious mind that spirit is there. It helps you. So sometimes our spirit dies, and that's where people lose hope. That's why people get in deep into those things, and it's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy or it's hard, but
it is something. Yeah,
I understand. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, thanks for that. We'll be right back after this.
Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
And we're back. Welcome back to Deep Talk. I'm your host Neha. We're with Black Gzas.
Yes, I'm here.
So we're talking about youth and what's happening. I want to ask you it's quite a fundamental question that most of us at some point we want to understand about ourselves. And sometimes we have an answer, sometimes we don't. But do you feel like you know what your mission is? And if so, what do you feel that mission is? And maybe I can just share where mission comes from, Because your mission is something, it's like something deep inside this part of your body. Like, it's deep inside you, and it's like, you just feel like you have to do this, It's something that makes you feel like, okay, I need to do this no matter what, like whether I'm paid or not paid or whatever, but I feel this is so important. My heart desires to do this, and this is what brings me joy. When I do this, I'm like more joyful, I'm more energized, I'm more alive,
Yeah. I think that's a very hard question to answer you from mine, because sometimes that's according to me, to my perspective. I don't want to say it's for everyone, or somebody will be amazed by this, what I'm saying. But personally, music I found before I knew it was my mission, and to preach the gospel, the Ghetto Gospel. I used to call my music Ghetto Gospel, but at some point things changed, and you stop kind of believing in what you're doing because of the society we are living in and expectations of life. And then you start trying to do other missions, which those missions, you find that they are still your mission. Then you come to a place feel again they are not the mission, then it becomes like a puzzle. Then you are like, where am I? You get lost at some point, because personally that's me. I'm talking for me, not for everyone.
That's where you're at, right? Yeah, that's where you've been.
And that's why I said sometimes you even can get dragged into substance abuse and all these kind of things, because you can feel like you're getting lost and there's nothing inspiring, like no motivation, because like nothing is producing what the mission is about, but I don't want to say that I've given up. No, I'm very strong, as you can see me, but that urgeness, there is an urge that I used to have back, that there is something that I was up to, and then you start feeling like you are deteriorating. That spirit is kind of the motivation spirit is kind of going. Although personally I would say I'm a very strong spirit, because I know that's part of the cycle of life. Like sometimes there is ups and downs, but if I imagine to a normal person, like somebody who is not very conscious of themselves or what goes around their mind or their body, it's very easy to get away from what you call the mission. So me personally, I feel my mission is to empower other people, and my mission is also to bring change in the society, or to kind of change, this system, the way it is and the way it's planned. We are living in a system whereby we found a system that told us, you have to go from class 1 to class 8, then from class 8 to form 4. Now they've changed the system. Now I don't know, it's 7, I don't know what. This is a system that no, it's not suitable to everyone. It's not a system that is made. We are not made. It will suit some people, but not everybody. But I'm not saying it's bad, although there should be an alternative, a better alternative that we can create. And that's what I feel I'm part of changing that kind of thing, to bring a new way of even empowering in the future, because I'm not thinking about today. I'm thinking about maybe this can be done to generations, or it can go to even maybe 5 generations. Then the system can change, but before then it can benefit people in different way. And that is in an area which I've spent most of my life in, which is music and arts. But I'm yet to reach there. I'm still on the road. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you never really reach there, because by the time you reach there, you're changed, and then where you want to go is different,
Yeah.
So you're constantly growing. But I want to come back to this ghetto gospel, preaching the ghetto gospel. How does that make you feel now? Because you said at one point you were very clear that was your mission.
Yeah. It's just different because you get to a point whereby, let's say in the show business or in the music industry, first it's very hard to do what you want as a creative, like in order to have shows, in order to have shows that can pay you regularly, you have to sing things which are not relevant. it might not sound like a fact, but it is a fact, whereby what's trending, that's what is bringing money. Though it's not long-term money that you won't say it will last, but people want to make money and want to live and want to sustain their livelihood. So for somebody who want to do positive music, they reach a point, many have given up because it's not promising of what that's me personally. I used to the music, that's why I still do it, because my music is message, is I really put message in it. So that's why I haven't done commercial music for long, because even if I try, I still find myself, my lyrics they're still there, and that's the direction I decided I'll take. Though I know it's not there, so that's why I'm telling you I have to find another way of making money, because I want to do that, and if I want that to reach somewhere, I'll have to make money and push that music to be listened to in a way. So that's my mission, I believe, because I believe if one person can be changed with my lyrics or from my songs, listen to my song, that's a good thing for me, rather than you get a hit and then after 5 years, even your kids won't come. You won't be happy when your kids are doing something, but you are the one who also did. So it's a bit different, yeah. But that's my gospel. That's what I say. I say Ghetto Gospel, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everybody gets stuck, because in order to break boundaries, you have to have this. You can think about it. You have to have like enough fuel, to like shoot through the boundary. So if you really I believe personally what I'm doing with my life right now, and why I do this show and why I teach, why I do healing work with people, is because I really truly believe that if each of us pursue our God, our divine mission, which is we're a note in the song of God, and if each of us fully manifest that divine mission, the universe can have no choice but to support it, because it was divine.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Jesus never built a church.
Yeah, he didn't even earn a salary. He didn't have insurance.
So yeah,
exactly. But he's millions and billions of people around the world throughout history have known him.
True.
So, and his teachings, and he's immortal, and that's what the Bible talks about, is stepping into immortality in that way. But the thing is, the fear, oh my God, what am I going to eat today? How am I going to deal with this? The pressure that we all, and we're also exposed to it from our spouses. You're in a marriage with me. That kind of stuff that goes on, right? Yeah. So in order for you to break those boundaries, you have to believe in it, and you have to no holds bars, go for it. You know what I'm saying? And you have to stay true to it. So you have to keep bringing yourself back to it.
That's why
so you have to do the spiritual work. You need spiritual power to do this, and so that's, I guess, why I do what I do. And one of the things that I would love to be a part of at some point, if it does manifest, that not that if it does, at some point I would love to be a part of. That's what I try to do, is I try to give people the spiritual power to pursue their dreams and to manifest their divine destiny, right? But it would be wonderful if there's some kind of institution that actually has the practical resources and ability and infrastructure to help people do that. Yeah, that's the dream. Anyways, we will be right back after this break.
Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
For deep talk, like Jesus. So we're going to do a little bit of tarot. That's what you've chosen for today. So what is tarot? I think you know a little bit more about tarot.
No, you can just tell.
Okay, so basically tarot works with the laws of divine laws of probability. Okay, so everything in this universe is a probability. It's a probability.
You're talking out of the mic.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So everything is a probability. That a car passes, it's a probability. So with tarot, you work with energy and probability. So you put energy is in everything we do, and so we can actively use energy to put it into non-physical objects, or into physical objects. And when you put the energy into the cards, the probabilities start, and you use your intuition. Intuition is basically a different kind of knowledge. It's not using the conscious mind. It's using a deeper knowledge system, and you start choosing cards. Then the law of probability, the divine laws of probability kicks in, and exactly what you need to hear comes through. And these cards are simply wisdom cards. They're not going to tell you you're going to die, or this and this and this is going to happen. It's simply like deep wisdom. In fact, this is Zen tarot, so this is Zen with wisdom, which is the Eastern philosophies. They come from Taoism. There's a bit of Taoism, Buddhism, also Vedic teachings through here, but in general, spiritual teachings in the cards. Okay? Yeah. So what I want you to do, I just want you to take the cards and shuffle them. And what you do is you put everything you would like to, if you'd like anything to be answered, or if you have any issues or queries, put everything into the cards just with your energy. And when you feel you've put everything into the cards and you feel you're done, you just want to spread the cards out like this on the table. You just want to spread them out on the table when you're ready. Okay, beautiful. So if you spread them out.
I've done 7 times because 7 is a good number.
So you want to spread them out. All of them, yeah. Even these ones. So that you can pick them, yeah. However you want to spread them, you can spread them. Okay, can I help you spread them in a way that you can get them easily? Okay, the best way, although I've put them out of your order, haven't I? Do you want to shuffle them one more time? Okay, you ready? So the best way to spread them is this way. So then you can get to all of them. Okay, so you're right-handed or left-handed? Which hand do you use normally? Yeah.
I use both hands.
Okay, so which hand do you use less?
I'll choose my left for this matter.
Okay, so you want to just spread your hands over the cards, and wherever you feel drawn, pick that card up. There's no right or wrong.
I just pick one.
Yeah, you just pick one where your hand feels called. You'll just feel your hand being pulled a little bit somewhere.
Somewhere here.
Okay. Is that the card? Alright, let's turn this card over. The card is sharing. Okay. So I will read a little bit, but you can also take a look at the card to see it, because the image itself has so much wisdom.
Somewhere here.
Okay. Got the card? Alright, let's turn this card over. The card is sharing. Okay, so I will read a little bit, but you can also take a look at the card to see it, because the image itself has so much wisdom. So I can also talk to you about the card before we read it. Mm-hmm. So you can see this woman. So this is a woman, and she is very abundant. Okay, she's very abundant. she has a fruit, which is, in some sense the food of the gods, right? Like pomegranate and grapes. These are, delicacies of God. A candle which has light in it, and that candle represents the light within you. Okay? And she's overflowing, she's flowing. She's got beautiful silks around her and flowers around her. So nature is, and golden flowers. So the gifts of nature, this is abundance. Nature is abundance, basically, right? And so it's all around her. So the light she's carrying is representing, to me, the way I read this card, represents spirituality, like light, love, okay? Divine light. The food is the abundance, okay? She's carrying abundance with her. And then the flowers, of course, is also the abundance of nature, wisdom and truth and beauty and all of these kind of things. And she's smiling, and she's got a plate, and it's for others. So it's kind of pouring out from her. Okay? So it's kind of talking about being this. This is kind of the issue, being this energy of abundance. And what happens is when you become that energy, you don't have to, like, sharing is not like giving somebody a lollipop, You just overflow. Your own inner abundance just pours out of you, and so everybody around you drinks from it. So the sharing is like an overflowing. Okay, that's what I read. That's what I read. Yes. So I can read this out for you, but this is the reading that I'd give you. Would you like to hear what the book says also? Yeah. So it's talking about your heart, and this center, the heart center, is really about love and the abundance of love. Okay, so when you meditate in the heart, you become so overflowing with love, with compassion. You want to share. It just happens naturally. This sharing, this desire to be a fountain from which others drink. That's why we always connect love to the heart. Okay.
You are reading, or you are?
I'm selecting what is relevant. Okay. So this is how I do reading.
What if you read the whole thing, the message?
You can read it later.
Okay.
Okay. So the Queen of Fire, she is so rich, so much a queen, that she can afford to give. It doesn't even occur to her to take inventory or to put something aside for later. She dispenses her treasures without limits, welcoming all to partake of abundance and light. When you draw these cards, it suggests that you two are in a situation where you can share your love and your vibration. And in sharing, you will find that you're even fuller. There's no need to go anywhere or to make any special effort. You can you find that you will just give naturally. You can give birth to a child or a new project equally and with ease. Okay? Everything around you seems to be coming together. So enjoy that, ground in it, and let the abundance in you and around you overflow.
I've got you.
Okay. Do you want to pick another? Oh, we've only picked one and we're at 9 minutes. Yeah. But we'll continue. All right. So you can edit as you need to. You can even edit this part. I'm just speaking to you. All right. You want to do the full reading? It's 5 cards.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can definitely edit the parts where he's picking. That took time. I think we're going to skip to the readings rather than maybe read everything out also. Alright. Traveling. So this is here. Goes here. That's number 8. Okay, so let's look at this card. So you can see this card. It's like this mountains. What I'm seeing is that there are mountains, okay? And it's like faraway journeys. traveling is not necessarily physical, but it is about journeying, okay? And journeying to places that are distant. And they're shrouded, the clouds kind of fog them because they're shrouded in mystery. So they're this unknown in the journey. You know, when you're walking in your own journey, when you go on your own journey, which we all are doing all the time through our life, there's a lot of it that's unknown. We don't know until we get there. But also, these are mountains. These are not flat lands. So there are peaks and low highs and lows of traveling and journeying. Okay. Life is a continuity. There's no final destination it's going to. It's just the journey in itself. Okay? Not reaching a point, but moving joyously without bothering about a destination. Okay? The tiny figure moving on the path through this beautiful landscape is not concerned about the goal. He or she knows that the journey is the goal. The pilgrimage itself is the sacred place. Each step on the path is important in itself. When this card appears in a reading, it indicates a time of movement and change. It may be physical movement from one place to another, or it may be an inner movement from one way of being to another. Okay? The card promises that the going will be easy and will bring a sense of adventure and growth. There's no need to struggle or plan too much. The traveling card also reminds us to accept and embrace the new. The attitude of openness and acceptance invites new experiences, new relationships into our lives. Okay? Should we go for another one?
Yeah.
Participation. Okay, so when I look at this card, I see the 4 elements, okay? And the 4 elements are sacred, and within them is the yin-yang, okay? Can you see that? Within them is the yin-yang. And the yin-yang is, of course, about balance, the duality of nature. Everything has its opposite, okay? But at the same time, they are flowing through each other. So although they are opposites, they're also part of the same stream of energy, which is divine energy, so lightness and dark. Okay? And they're within a circle. And this circle really symbolizes the oneness of everything in the universe. And around the circle are the 4 elements. Okay? And these 4 elements are embodied by people meditating. So there are 4 energies. There's also the sacred 4. So there's the 1, there's the 2, there's the circle, right there. So there's the 1, the 2, and there's the 4 in this card. And together they're giving off light, and they make this beautiful kind of shape, pattern. It looks like a flower, but also it looks like a cross. It's a symbol. So it has a lot of deep, sacred geometry in this card, okay? So this is participation. Let's read a little bit about it. Have you ever seen the night going? Very few people have even become aware of things which are happening every day. Have you ever seen the evening coming, the midnight and its song, or the sunrise and its beauty? In such a beautiful world we are living, we miss all of these. It's so familiar that if somebody wants to pull you out, you struggle. You don't want to be pulled out into these experiences. Otherwise there's so much joy around you. Zen is participation. Philosophy is speculation. Okay? So participate in the night leaving. Participate in the evening coming. Participate in the stars. Participate in the clouds. Make participation your life. And your existence becomes an ecstasy. Each figure in this mandala holds the right hand up in an attitude of receiving and the left hand down in the attitude of giving. The whole circle creates a tremendous energy field that takes on the shape of the Tibetan symbol for the thunderbolt. The mandala has a quality like that of the energy field that forms around a Buddha, where all the individuals taking part in the circle make a unique contribution to create a unified whole. It's like a flower whose wholeness is even more beautiful than its individual parts. You have an opportunity to participate with others now, to make your contribution to creating something greater and more beautiful than each of you could on your own. Okay? Alright. So So there's a lot of action. These are all fire cards. They're all the same energy. Innocence. This is a major card. Okay? Innocence. So you can see, it's so funny because they've chosen to show an old man in terms of innocence. Okay? And yet we always think of innocence as those for the young. Yeah. And he's looking at a cricket, and he's in wonder, and the beautiful trees are around him. The cherry flower trees are around him, and it's the color of consciousness, the purple colors of consciousness. Okay, so this man is looking at this cricket in wonder, and that is innocence. Innocence is basically from not knowing. Innocence comes when you don't know something and you look at it, then you have a clean mind from which you are looking at it, and then you can really experience its beauty and its truth. Because you have no judgments about it. You're not defining it. No, you're not used to it. So you don't even know its name. But it is some incredible creature. And you start looking at it in a way that you start to understand its beauty and its truth. And that is the quality of innocence. Okay? So the fourth card, so this is the issue kind of thing. This is kind of the issue card usually. This is the inner influence of which you're unaware of. This is the outer influence. No, this is the inner influence of which you may be unaware of. This is the outer influence of which you are aware of. And then this is kind of the key, in some sense, like the wisdom. Well, of course, they're all wisdom. Okay? So that's how the cards work. Here we go. Zen says that if you drop knowledge, your name, your identity, everything, because this has been given to you by others, if you drop all that has been given by others, you will have a totally different quality to being. You will be innocent. This will be a crucifixion of the person, the personality, the persona. Okay? And there'll be a resurrection of your innocence. Oh my gosh, can you believe this is talking in the terms of the resurrection and the crucifixion? And you will become a child again, and you will be reborn. The old man in this card radiates a childlike delight in the world. There's a sense of grace surrounding him. He's at home with himself and what life has brought. He's in communication, in a playful communication with the praying mantis, as if they are the greatest friends. The pink flowers that are falling, they represent a time of letting go, of relaxation, okay, of sweetness. And they are a response to his own presence, his own qualities. The innocence that comes from a deep experience of life is childlike, but not childish. The innocence of children is beautiful, but it will be over time replaced by mistrust and doubt as the child grows and learns that the world can be a dangerous and threatening place. But the innocence of a life fully lived has a quality of wisdom and acceptance of the ever-changing wonder of life.
That's a deep one.
Yeah.
Okay, last
Go for
one.
the last one.
I want one. This one is hiding here. Let me try and see what he says. Celebration. I need to do some celebration.
And this is a water card. Okay, so you can see it's feminine. 3 women. They are dancing in the water. They're free. Okay. And they're together, and there's, leaves falling from the sky, purple leaves falling from the sky. Again, consciousness. But again, also symbolizing this kind of abundance of life, just letting go and enjoying the moment, even in the rain. Complete abandonment, even in the rain. Normally we protect ourselves from the rain. We're like, get out of the rain. But these women are embracing it. They're embracing it. So everything is a celebration for them. Even the rain, it's a moment to celebrate. Everything is a time that you can celebrate, and that is a spirit. So celebration is not a party, it's not a physical event. It is an essence. It's a spirit within us that comes, and where we can celebrate everything, whether we're recording a show or whether we are just walking in the street. We can always be in celebration. Okay, so this is the outcome. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Life is a moment to celebrate. When you make every moment a celebration, then you enter the temple or the kingdom of heaven. Have you ever seen a bird anxiety-ridden? Have you ever seen an animal neurotic? Life is not like that. Only man went wrong somewhere because he's so clever instead of wise. Okay? Your cleverness is your disease. Don't go too far into it, okay? A little foolishness and a little wisdom is good. The right combination makes you a Buddha. These three women dancing in the wind and the rain remind us that celebration never needs to depend on outside circumstances. We don't need to wait for a holiday or a formal occasion. True celebration arises from a joy that is first experienced deep within and spills into an overflow of song and dance. When you choose this card, it indicates you're becoming more and more available and open to the many opportunities that there are to celebrate in life and to spread this to others. Don't bother scheduling a party. Just start splashing around in the puddles right now. The party is all around you.
For sure. Love that. I think I live that.
Yes, you do.
Just live.
It's maybe a reminder. It's a reminder
It's
for
a
you.
reminder. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Black Jesus, it's been such a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Let me take a photo of this.
Yeah,
so
you
that-
can. We'll get a photograph for you also.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Just
Yeah. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show.
me too. I'm so delighted. I'm feeling grateful because I've learned from you. You've learned. We've also vibed a good vibe, which is rare.
Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.